So hello everybody. Last Friday we ran a really great webinar that looked at organised labour in a post-corona world. It was done in partnership with the Guild of Actors, and we had some really good insight. It was a good mix of speakers representing a broad spectrum of industry, uh, and a great conference. We had 360 online viewers. We had 137 people that have watched the online recording since we posted it. And we've had great feedback on Facebook and on our other social media platforms. Having said that, we're very aware that the conference ran for an hour, and there may well be members and other stakeholders that want to participate in this discussion who just weren't able to participate for the full hour. So I've asked Sharif Baker just to give us a brief rundown of the 6 key factors that were covered during this 1-hour session, and we're going to do it very briefly in 5 minutes. So Sharif, if you could just give us some insight into what the key factors were.
Yeah, look, there are far more than 6, 7 factors, but yeah, like you said, we need to condense it, and we will move forward in doing a lot more in giving and educating and allowing people to understand what we're doing. But I think one of the factors, like you put up there, is that freelancers are not covered by current labor legislation, and it's something that we are working hard on and doing, and we engaged with the Department of Labor now recently in February, and until we can find a solution, the only avenue or suggested avenue is that you are joined to an existing body or to establish your own forum. Right now, the existing body, which is a professional association, is SACIA or SASFED, which are registered professional organizations. And I suggest for your voice to be heard, this is the route that we need to go. And this is one of the key factors that we spoke about.
And if we move on, number 2, what would you consider number 2 in terms of key strategic bullet points that came out?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of times freelancers have been asking, how do we secure our rates, our fees, our how much we get paid? And the short of it is, unfortunately, we cannot. As freelancers, it cannot happen because it is deemed to be a form of price fixing. And so for freelancers to be seen as professionals and to enjoy a rate of pay that is conducive of being a professional, there are certain key factors that we need to take into consideration. But right now, one of the factors for a freelancer is that no, you cannot set your rate of pay because it is deemed as price fixing and thus illegal in this country. And so the coronavirus is likely to have a lasting impact on employment practices in the entertainment industry, and that is a fact. This initiative was put together with Saga and with the SACIA to discuss post-corona. And post-corona is a matter of setting yourself up and stop looking at yourself as just a freelancer, and that you should be looking as a professional in your craft. And it is imperative that you educate yourself, and that you look to designate yourself with the proper certification so that you can have the proper skill set and demonstrate your professionalism and competence post corona, so that we can delve into the issues of perhaps a rate pay and the likes thereof.
So, so one of the issues I know that was discussed fairly actively revolved around the exploitation of vulnerable workers, and I know we had a long discussion about this online. Do you want to just pick up on that one?
Yeah, it comes down to who do you turn to, and this is something that everybody keeps asking and nagging about. And until you see yourself as a professional and conduct yourself as a professional, unfortunately, you're going to be exploited. What we need to do is ensure that both members, individual and companies are aligned with a professional body. And in this case, SACIA right now with the TPSA, because then you are subject to a code of conduct, both in business and as an individual. And once that happens and you're members of an association, we can ensure exploitation does not take place with labor practices, because we will then be there for you. But until that happens, until everybody realizes that this is your craft is professional and that you need to follow a code of conduct, yeah, you are going to be exploited. And this is a very, very big concern.
And that, of course, takes us into the bullet point number 5. Freelancers need to see themselves as industry professionals. At the moment, they seem to be there seems to be a perception that they are somehow lesser than, and I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah, look, this is something we've been our own worst enemy for years and years and years, and now it's come home to roost. We need to be seen again as professionals, and the only way of doing that is paying your tax, getting an insurance, getting an income protection policy, doing all the things that we are all crying about now and now looking for a handout from the government. And I'm not saying the government shouldn't help us, but right now the government is looking and saying, are you a professional? I don't know you as a professional. So we need to up our game, and we need to understand that we are professionals in our field, and we're not just a freelancer for the sake of being a freelancer. And upping our game, but the first step is making sure you pay your taxes.
So I want to keep this short, but so if you don't mind me just wrapping it up, the point that I would make is that we're all in this together. This is not about whether you're a freelancer or you're a company owner or whether you're an employee. Everyone has been impacted by this coronavirus. Pointing fingers for alleged injustices, for past slights, is absolutely counterproductive. Unless we get into a situation where we cooperate, where we collaborate, where we engage in teamwork, all of those are the factors that are required if we're going to survive this pandemic and build our industry going forward.
Absolutely. The one thing I've advocated right from the beginning is Ubuntu. I think it's a beautiful word. I think it's a beautiful African word, and it means much more than just the word unity. It means everything and above. We need to put aside our pride, our ego, putting our names up there to say, my company's doing this, and I've done this, and that's got nothing to do with it. Right now, we need to pull ourselves together, speak with one voice, practice Ubuntu, and so that we can have great collaboration and cooperation and make sure we're recognized.
Yep. So look, we're going to be doing a follow-up webinar. If you have questions that weren't answered in the last one, I'm very aware that there were many questions that weren't answered. So if you have questions that you'd like to put to our expert panel, please send them in to us at freelance@sakia.org.za, and we'll see you all during our next webinar. Thank you.